So we've got an update here today. This is hot off the presses as of today, Korea time. So this is a fresh update. First update, procedural. We now have, there's multiple updates here, but first I'm going to give you the procedure. His lawyer from the Eastern District has now officially registered in the Western District. So he talked a lot about this private attorney in the Eastern District. He is now registered officially in the Western District. It is unclear how the defense is going to split work, as Ramsey now officially has a public defender and a private lawyer. So he's got both a public defender that was originally covering his his Western District case, and a private lawyer, which was on the East, which is now registered in the West. So we're going to talk about this lawyer. So we actually predicted who this lawyer was. We had a leak. Ramsey gave a leak about who this lawyer was. We now know officially the lawyer is Choi Gwang-ho, or Gwang-ho Choi. Choi is his family name. So that is the lawyer that has registered. He is a tax attorney. He is a tax attorney. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. Let me say that one more time. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years. He is a tax attorney. So what probably happened, and this is something that we said, was this is probably a friend of Hanky Poo's family who got put on this case. And just so you guys see, I am not making this thing up. Here's over here his blog. You can look this up, and this is also in Korean, so if you want to check it out, this is the original Korean version. I'm just translating this over here, right? So he graduated from Sungkyun Kwan University in 1991, passed the bar in 1998. He joined the Songpa law firm, which is where he is, in 2001. So he did start as a public defender. He did that for 4 years, but then he switched to tax litigation. So he has not done anything involving criminal stuff since 2005. Some of you are not even that old in the chat right now. He also runs a karaoke bar. Well, maybe that's how they found him. But anyways, so the point of the matter is that is the new lawyer. Now, once again, this is not some sort of big shot Johnny Cochran of Korea, right? This is not some sort of super expensive lawyer. This is not some sort of mega hitter. This is a tax attorney who seems to be handling this based on connections, presumptively, to Hank's family. That's a presumption. That's what a lot of good speculation has been made. But beyond that, Hank paid the bill for this. Obviously, Johnny has no money, so Hank, Han Jong-yu, paid the legal fees for this attorney. So this has been scrapped together by Hank one way or another. And that is how he's now registering. And this is going to be pretty expensive because remember, they got to pay him for all of that time and all those hearings. And there's going to be a lot of hearings with the Somali case. So that's going to be a pretty big one. So let's get over here and give you the rest of the presentation. So let's talk about the new crime, shall we? So here is what we have. Brand new as of today. We have today, May 8th. 2025, Ramsey Khalid Ismail has been officially charged with a second count. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, not one, but 2 counts of the violation of the Special Act on Crimes for the distribution of false video deepfakes. This effectively doubles his maximum possible criminal penalty for deepfakes. There are now 2 charges. Each charge has a max of 10.5 years. Thus, the max penalty now he faces is 21 years in prison just for deepfakes. And then, because we have other charges, remember, we've got other charges, that's another 10 years stacked on. So he's looking at up to 31 years. That's the maximum amount now. 31 years in Korean prison is the new maximum that the court can assign him. Let's talk about this new charge. So let's talk about this deepfake, okay? So with the deepfakes, we now have 2. What does this mean? This means that we have one from the female victim, which is presumptively Bong Bong IRL, and we have a second charge, which is probably from the Korean streamers, right? Bang TV, who I interviewed. You've got Youngman. You've got Dalgun, who I interviewed. And by the way, Dalgun, who had all of his fines paid for the punch by donut operator and by donations from kind people like you guys. So Dalgun, he had a deep fake of him. So did Bang TV. So did Jungmann. So all those guys pressed charges against him. So those deepfake charges were pending against him. So all of those charges are coming against him, and they're separate. And what that means is that he can get hit with double the penalties. Double the penalties. And even if there was a settlement, a quote unquote settlement with Bong Bong, which is, remember, his whole big legal talk, his whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her because she showed the image on her stream as well. But she showed it to show how mad she was about it, being like, this is wrong, right? So he tried to blackmail the victim. And not only did that fail, it literally backfired in his face. When he tried to blackmail the female victim, the prosecutor probably saw this and said, oh, hell no, we're going to double down and give you another one. And by the way, there will be no settlement on that one because it's with the Korean YouTubers that you are literally attacking and threatening with defamation. Remember, guys, Hank and Johnny have been threatening to sue the Korean YouTubers and myself, by the way, threatening to sue me with defamation in Korea. Do you think that people that you threatened to sue, and you are suing, you literally said you're suing them, you were threatening Dalgun, you're threatening some of the people, do you think they're going to come to some settlement with you? By the way, that doesn't even really work in Korean court. Even if they were to say, oh yeah, we agree, the prosecutor could still bring it. Their whole big brain legal strategy just got nuked from orbit. It got absolutely destroyed. And remember, Johnny said, if I get charged with deepfakes, I'm fighting this out. Let's fight this out, Ramsey. Let's fight this out. Also, someone says RKI. What is RKI? RKI stands for Ramsey Khalid Ismail. That is Johnny Somali's name, is Ramsey Khalid Ismail. RKI. RKI. So this absolutely, to me, and I just was laughing about this, it completely nukes this guy. In terms of all of that strategy he talked about, that's all wiped the floor with. So he's going to have his lawyers, his two lawyers, which, by the way, weren't talking to each other. They didn't even know about the other charges. So now they've got to figure this out somehow together, or maybe apart. I don't know. Maybe the public defender has to go now that he has a private attorney. Who knows? And so it opens up an entire new world with massive amounts of problems. All right, let's get to the charges in total. So here we have, also the process. So guys, I am going to show you everything that is at step 4, okay? I am showing you everything at step 4. That's trial. There are things he is still being investigated for at step 3. This is the Korean criminal process. I've shown this chart many, many times, but just so you guys know, there are more crimes under investigation. Remember, there's stuff like his threats against the streamer Nana. Remember that? The harassment of Nana. There's also stuff like the Lotte World stuff that it can be reopened and can be brought as well. There's also stuff that is coming down the pike. So we can have more charges, but what I'm talking about is stuff at step 4, okay? This is everything. This is the master list. This is the factual list. If any clippers need to get factual information, this is what the facts are. This is 100% accurate, okay? The 6 charges. First, we had obstruction of business. That was for the 7-Eleven ramen, for throwing ramen at 7-Eleven. That was brought against him in 2024 in November. And this was the first crime in the Western District. He pled guilty to that crime. So he is already guilty of number 1. Number 2, we had violation of the Minor Crimes Act. This is for carrying around the fish, for harassing people, causing them anxiety, chasing them down. That was merged in on the 4th of December of 2024. He has pled guilty to that. On the third charge, the violation of the Minor Crimes Act, this was for disruption on the bus and in the subway. This was merged in right before his trial date in February 11th. It was merged in. He has pled guilty to that. So 1, 2, and 3, guilty. Here we go. 4. This is a new charge that he was merged in right before his case that I attended. This was right before the one that I went to and Atosi went to. This is a second claim, number 4, of obstruction of business. We do not know exactly what that is for. Our speculation is it is Lotte World. We have not confirmed that. We don't know 100%, but that is our educated guess. That was merged in right before the trial on the 4th of March. Now we had the first deepfake, number 5. That was merged in on the 27th. And because of that, his trial date last month in April was pushed to May. So because of that charge number 5, his trial was pushed from April to May. So now we have, again, another deepfake coming in for right before the trial on the 8th of May. So, guys, look at the pattern here. Look at the pattern of these mergers. On the 8th of May, 27th of March, 4th of March, 11th, what are they doing? It doesn't take a genius to see a pattern here. They are spreading out the charges and they are inflicting as much procedural pain on Johnny Somali as they absolutely can. They are pushing his trial and making him delay. Because by doing it 1 week before, the lawyers will panic. Johnny will panic. They won't have time to review the charges. So what are they going to do? They're going to push it down the line. They're going to keep pushing it. And all of a sudden, he's been trapped in Korea for a year, maybe a year and a half. We can go 2 years, maybe even, guys. We're going to talk about what will happen here. So they are making this as painful as possible on this guy. And by the way, it is all because he is making, he's pushing things and making himself, digging himself deeper and deeper, while he's still in Korea, streaming, mocking the system, mocking Koreans, attacking people, harassing people. You're seeing a pattern here. Now, by the way, for the deepfakes, once again, for number 5, right? So this is number 5, the first deepfake. We believe that was the deepfake of Bong Bong IRL, the female streamer who he was making out with in a deepfake. Making out is a crime. It is a act, right? To depict someone making out, right? It's considered an intimate act. We also have similar videos, similar deepfake video of Dalgun, of Bang TV, of Jungman, of other folks. And that would be number 6. So that's what I speculate those are. We don't know. There could be other deepfakes. Because remember, they were in his Discord. And they got information from his Discord. So there may be other stuff ripped from his Discord or submitted by people from his Discord, right? Who may be snaking him even to this day, right? And that may be used against him as a deepfake. We don't know yet. We don't know 100%. We're only going to find out 100% at the next trial. So this is the accurate list. Now let's talk about, people want to know what are the penalties. So obstruction of business, that's maximum penalty. Once again, there's no minimums in Korea. There's no minimum punishment. So obstruction of business is maximum of 5. Violation of the Minors Crime Act, that's going to be a fine. Same thing with the second one. So those are going to be fines. Obstruction of business, that's up to 5 years again. So now we're up to 10, right? 2 obstruction of business, up to 10. Then we've got deepfakes, 10.5 for the first, 10.5 for the second is the maximum. So put those all together, 10.5 put 10.5, that's 21. I'm a lawyer. I don't math so good, but that's 21 years. 5 for obstruction and 5 for the other obstruction. That's 31. That is 30, up to a maximum of 31. The Korean court, because I know I get this question every single time, when they issue a amount of time in prison, they issue it all together. So they take everything together and they give one number. They don't say 5 years for this. We issue 1 year, 5 year, 3. They issue it all together. So they can say we sentence him to X amount in jail, and they're going to give a sum. So they're not going to say we sentence him to 3 and 2 and 1 and 5, and there's no concurrent or consecutive. There's no argument about that. It's just one. So they say, hey, we're going to give you a year, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, right? That is how they are going to do that.